Hello out there. My name is Laolu Akande, and you are on to Inside Sources. But first, here is my take for today entitled Gumi's Insult Upon Injury. Insecurity is an ongoing injury in Nigeria, and one man is unrelentingly adding insult to it. His name is Sheik Gumi, and he's talking again with his infested idea of negotiating and rehabilitating gruesome murderers. Before now, on the strength of his careless and irresponsible comments about terrorism and banditry in Nigeria, Gumi was denied access to Saudi Arabia. But the man is talking nonsense whenever he pleases here at home. Imagine. Now, let's review two things that he has said recently. First, Gumi is denying allegations that he is sympathetic to bandits and terrorist groups. Secondly, he has renewed his call for negotiation and amnesty for armed groups operating across parts of the country. I'm quoting now. They said they fear when they lay down arms, they will be pursued and arrested. So give them amnesty so that they don't need to fear putting down their arms, unquote. Now, at this point, we must ask ourselves a very important question. Who exactly are we supposed to be negotiating with? Because what we are witnessing today in Nigeria has gone far beyond ordinary criminality. This is organized violence. This is mass abduction. This is terrorism. It is the normalization of bloodshed in all of its raw but grisly dimensions. Now, about the same time Gumi is saying all of this, there's a report by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom that there is an estimated 30,000 armed Fulani militants believed to be operating across Nigeria, spreading from the northwest to the middle belt and now increasingly into southern Nigeria. And whether you agree or not with that report, one thing is undeniable. We are dealing with a deeply insidious and dangerous security crisis. School children are being kidnapped. Villages are being invaded. Families are being wiped out. People are being abducted on highways and byways, and there is a palpable fear around the whole place. In fact, only recently we watched in horror after a viral video allegedly showed the beheading of Mr. Michael Oyedokun, an innocent man, a maths teacher abducted during the attack on schools in Ori local government area around Ogbomoso in Oyo State. That footage is circulating openly, shocking, despicable, gruesome, evil. And now Sheik Gumi is talking about negotiating with those folks. And this is exactly why the idea of repeatedly negotiating with bandits has become such a very deeply uncomfortable, unnerving, and capable of a fearful and rapid undoing of our sense of decent community and orderly society. Because how do you continue trying to understand people who kidnap children, slaughter innocent citizens like animals, and post these executions online wantonly without any remorse? How do we negotiate with people who have become so brazen about violence? In fact, this is precisely why Gumi's position on this matter now appears deeply illogical and disturbingly inhuman. We must ask, whose interest is Gumi protecting? Which agenda is Gumi pushing? We cannot continue bending over backwards to rationalize barbarity while innocent people continue to die. Yes, we want peace, but justice matters also. Indeed, justice is the first condition of humanity. That is quoting elder statesman and Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. And so let's call Gumi out properly. And all those in and outside government, including governors who are toying with this idea, pushing this idea of negotiation with these evildoers. If we are not careful, we may gradually begin to normalize terror simply because it has persisted for too long. What we hold ourselves as leaders and as people is to organize our country effectively and efficiently. We don't need to pander to these notorious evildoers. And this is where comparison with the Niger Delta militancy becomes completely misplaced, like some people are doing. Because while the Niger Delta crisis largely centered around oil infrastructure and resource control agitation, what we are seeing today continuously and increasingly is about widespread kidnapping, killings of civilians, attacking innocent and vulnerable people and communities. The two situations are not moral equivalents at all. And so we must tell Gumi and people like him, as calmly as we can, please, if you don't have anything better to say about the crippling insecurity in Nigeria, then have the decency to remain silent. Sheik Gumi, stop adding insult to Nigeria's injury. And there you have it. Inside Sources goes full blast right after this.